So, Ralph, you finished last season so well, 7 games unbeaten, finishing 11th. Does that make you think that this year, realistically, top 10 is what you want?
No, this is not the way we are thinking. We know that it's a new season, a difficult one, and hopefully have a better start than last season. But every Premier League season is difficult, and we can play as good as at the end of the last season, and then hopefully get better results than last year in the beginning.
You've had a pretty quiet transfer window so far. Mo Salisu's come in. Kyle Walker-Peters is permanent. Do you think you've done enough, or do you think more needs to be done, like Emmanuel Dennis, the Nigerian at Brugge?
Yeah, more needs to be done. Absolutely. We know that we have lost the 6 with Pierre Højbjerg, and we need on this position an alternative. So we will definitely do something in the next weeks. Still time to go. Anyway, I think we have a good 11, but we have a lot of games following up this season. So we need absolute alternatives, and therefore we need to do something.
Can you talk about Emmanuel Dennis and a possible deal involving Wesley Hoedt going to Brugge?
I don't want to discuss any rumors. We have a few players, they have been on loan and get opportunities to stay on loan or go somewhere else. If that is an opportunity for us, then we take it. And to bring somebody in, it can be a permanent deal or a loan option. However, we keep our eyes open.
Just one last one. Fraser Forster is back from Celtic, and some people are a bit surprised, including Neil Lennon, who thought he was going to stay at Celtic. Is Fraser Forster going to enjoy a renaissance at Southampton and become a serious rival again for the #1 jersey?
Yeah, he stays with us at the moment. We have with Alex McCarthy our #1. I think Alex made a fantastic development in the last games, and then on the #2 position, Fraser and Gani, one will maybe leave us and the other one will stay with us.
Thanks, Ralph. All the best.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Jeremy. We'll go to Jonathan at Premier League.
Hello, Ralph.
Hello.
Hiya. I remember when you spoke after lockdown, you talked about the break almost being a new pre-season for you, a mid-season pre-season, if you like. So what has this been, the last month or so? In a way, do you want it to be a continuation of the same season, given your form?
Yeah, it's a good question. It doesn't really feel like a completely new season. The pre-season was very short, and as you know, 2 weeks of this 4 weeks, we haven't had all the players here, so it was quite difficult to prepare for the first game, and so it didn't feel like a whole preseason like the last one, maybe, if you want. And now we have a start where nobody knows exactly on what level he is.
You mentioned right at the start that you need to ideally start this season better. What can you do as the coach to make sure that happens? What can you do differently, do you think, to make sure you don't find yourself in trouble again midway through the season?
I think it was definitely not easy now to prepare them. After the lockdown, it was quite easier because we had all the players all the time with us and could work very concentrated together. Now we had only 2 weeks with them, and then they were gone to the internationals, and they are coming back. And then, some have played 2 games, some come back injured and cannot play. And this is definitely not perfect for us. And we must, work with a smaller group. 2 weeks in the preseason cannot work on any tactical paths. So this is definitely not a perfect preparing for the first game, I can imagine. So we must go to Palace and do the best of the opportunities we had the last weeks. And then it goes very quick with a lot of games following. So finding the rhythm would be very important as soon as possible. Normally that fits to us if we have a lot of games in the short term. That was after lockdown also our secret, that we are a very fit team normally and can immediately push hard for the results, and it would be necessary also now.
And tactically speaking, because it's always fun talking to you about tactics, you know, you settled back on your preferred way of playing, and it really worked for you, didn't it? How important is it from your point of view that you stick to those principles, if you like, this season, or do you still need that certain flexibility at times?
I stick to the principles, makes all the sense, I think, and that doesn't mean that you try to do what you have always done, because then you will be also not developing anything. So we try to find things what we can do better. We try to find things with the ball that give us more threaten in front, that we can create more chances. And these have been a few topics in the preseason, and I think the guys really like it and showed that the way we go together now, concentrating also on our game with the ball, is definitely something they enjoy. And always try to develop, always try to get better, because we don't feel that we are on our limits now.
Thanks, Ralph. See you soon.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Jonathan. We'll go to Ian at TalkSport. Ian, are you there?
You must remove.
Ian, I think you're still on mute.
Yeah, hi, sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got you.
Cool. Right, sorry about that. Ralph, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
A word on how proud you and your club must be that over the last week or so, James Ward-Prowse and Danny Ings both played for England. I mean, it's a sense of how well they did last season for you and for the club that they're recognised by Gareth Southgate.
Yeah, well, it's fantastic for them. To be honest, for me as a coach, it's a sign of that we did a good job. For preparing for the new season, it's not so fantastic, I think. But the good thing is that they were coming back fit, and now they could work 2 days with the team, and hopefully on the weekend they are immediately on a good performance.
Danny, in particular, 20-odd goals last season. I mean, that doesn't happen every season for a striker. How confident are you that he can back it up? And obviously, just talk to us about Crystal Palace on Saturday.
That's important that he stays hard working for the team. I think he shouldn't go in the league in the season and think about, I must have as quick as possible a lot of goals, and then I feel comfortable. Otherwise, I get pressure. No, that's not the key. He has to work hard for the team. He has to come in the situations where he have been last season, and then I'm sure he get a lot of chances to score. And when he has a chance, then normally he could finish, so he can do it. We will help him. The whole team is keen to step up and to work hard for each other. And I think when we have the best 11 on the pitch, then we are definitely in a good mode and can win games.
Finally, obviously things have changed again in the last couple of days regarding restrictions because of the coronavirus, and we won't be seeing fans. I don't know when we'll be seeing fans in the stadium. Maybe in October sometime. We'll have to wait and see. But what's your view on that, and obviously on players keeping to the rules, because we've seen this week again that sometimes players don't always keep to the rules. How much a responsibility do you have on not only coaching the team but making sure they stick to the protocols?
I think the whole league showed that we can stick to the protocols. Okay, there are always some examples. They don't know about the importance, how important it is to stick to these guidelines. But I think the league showed that we can handle this, and this is the message what the league should get for getting the people back in the stadium, because I think we need them. And in other countries, they are starting now because they see that it's not it's an open air event, and you can definitely bring not maybe everybody back in the stadium, but a lot of people back in the stadium. And this is very important for everything, the business, for us as a motivation, for the players as a motivation, for the atmosphere in the stadium. And even if it's only a part of a crowd coming back, it would help us massively. Absolutely.
Good luck for the season, Ralph.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ian. We'll go to Adam Blackmore at Radio Solent. Hopefully.
Adam, where are you?
I'm here. Good afternoon.
Oh, here he is.
How are you?
I'm okay, and you?
Yeah, I'm all right, thank you. Nice to see you and speak to you.
Yeah.
Okay, I know you've talked about starting the season well, like you finished the last, but how confident are you that you have that momentum still? Because it really isn't that long ago, 6 weeks.
Yeah. You'll never know. I think the league, as always, is getting better and better, and you have to compete again. What was this was I was speaking about was not perfect, and was different to the last preseason or short preseason after the lockdown, was that I didn't have all the players all the time around me. Stu Armstrong came back injured from the national team the second time, so this is what I really I really hate, to be honest, because it's a preseason and I do everything to keep the players healthy. And then he's coming back after playing 80 minutes. It was definitely not perfect, I think, and that smashes a few automatism in our game. But we have to handle this, but it's not perfect. And also, I think the opponent didn't have that many players having gone to international breaks, so they have also more opportunities to test something. Yeah, we have to take it as it is, find the best solutions, and then make a good game there and try to win the game.
One player who didn't enjoy a full first season but showed us glimpses of what he can do was Moussa Djenepo. He's had his own issues to deal with in the first 12 months at the club. So how was he? And you mentioned Armstrong. I mean, what sort of role do you think Djenepo can play this season if he stays fit and he's on his game all the time?
Yeah, Moussa was had a lot of problems last season with injuries, red card. Then he was quarantined because he had to go home to Mali, and coming back had to go in quarantine. So everything was not perfect so far. And he needs definitely at first a consistent time period of working with us all the time, learning about our behaviors. And our game is changing all the time. And so you have to be open-minded. And if he learns quick, I think from the technical aspect, he has everything to help us. He has everything what we need on the pitch. And definitely a player that, like Shea Adams, needs a little time to step in the game. We see that sometimes it takes a little bit longer to find a way in the Premier League because it's easy, a very strong league. Yeah?
It was interesting to me that you were happy to say that at this moment, Alex McCarthy is your number one goalkeeper. And you mentioned Fraser Forster. But how much is he pushing McCarthy? Because Forster hasn't come back to Southampton to sit on the bench. So how much is he pushing McCarthy and giving you a headache?
I mean, we have with Gani and him now two goalkeepers. They try to push him, but I think Alex made a fantastic development with the ball and also in shot stopping. You can see that Andrew worked very hard with them, and especially with the ball, we have created some habits, some automatism that Fraser just has to learn. And he definitely can do it because he's also open-minded and try to improve his game, because the game for the field players, also the goalkeeper game is changing all the time, is developing, especially what you demand with the ball is definitely completely different now. You need a 11th field player if you want, like a libero behind the last line, and that means you have to work on your positioning, on your game with the ball, decision making, on scanning the left and right to find the right decision. So this is a lot of things we have to work in, and I think Andrew does it now since over a year with Alex, and you can see that he's normally a little bit ahead of the other guys.
Okay, thanks very much, Ralph. See you Saturday.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you guys. We'll move on to the second section, embargoed for 10:30 this evening. So if you've got a question in this section, please raise your hand. And we'll start with Dan Sheldon at The Athletic.
Thank you, Jordan. Hi, Ralph. How are you?
Hi, I'm okay. I must put the pictures on. Here you are.
If I could just start quickly, sorry. Team news. No one asked about team news. What's the team news going into Saturday's game?
Yeah, as I said, Stuart Armstrong is injured, coming back from internationals with a quad injury. Definitely not happy about that. The rest of the team is fit so far, yeah, we'll have a look who makes the journey with us to London tomorrow, and what team will then get the chance to play.
Thank you. And as a manager, you know, you've had a fair few first days of the season. How does it make you feel, that first game? Is it one you're more nervous about? Are you more excited just to get started?
I was very calm until yesterday when I heard that we had the first injury in the preseason. Now I'm not so calm anymore, because what I really hate is if I try to keep everybody fit and pay attention in the preseason, not to overwhelm him, then to have an injury when he's gone. This is what I don't like, but okay. Like every time in football, you find the solutions then, and then you must prepare for the first game. Nobody knows exactly where he stands in the moment, but we must try to bring all our qualities on the pitch. I would be surprised if this will be the best game in our entire working together. It's the first game, but we must find as quick as possible in our rhythm, because it's not long ago that we played fantastic football and we won games in a row, and hopefully we can continue this.
You mentioned earlier, I picked up on a point, you said you've not done any tactical work for 2 weeks because obviously players have had to leave. How have you had to adapt your pre-season this time round, bearing in mind it's been a shorter pre-season as well? There's been less matches where you've played against other teams.
As I said, it doesn't really feel like a pre-season because you couldn't do anything. In the first 2 weeks, you must pay attention not to train too hard, because the players are coming from a break, and this time they didn't train so much in the break because they had to have this. As you know, we are from now on playing, maybe if you want, without a break until next May or June. So it is a very intense season, and they had to have the 3 weeks off. And now we must find as quick as possible in our performance, and this is the goal, what we are concentrating on.
And just finally from me, so how have you changed your approach then? It sounds like you've had to adapt a few things. So what have you had to do as the manager to change?
Yeah, I mean, we try to develop our game with the ball also. It's definitely something you have seen in the end of this last season, that we become much calmer on the ball without falling asleep, still keeping the tempo high and still creating a lot of chances. But this behaviors and this automatism should be always there, and the rest about our biggest strength against the ball and counter-pressing and hunting and sprinting a lot, I think this should stay the same. And I think the more games we play, the better we'll get. Hopefully we can make the first step on Saturday.
That's brilliant. Good luck for the weekend, Ralph. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. We'll go to Tom Barkley at The Sun.
Here he is.
Hi, Ralph.
Hi. I'm okay.
Just on Stuart Armstrong. Firstly, what is his injury? Secondly, can you elaborate on what you're particularly unhappy with, and have you spoken to Steve Clarke about it?
It's a quad injury, and I think, we know about his physically situation, that he sometimes needs a little bit more rest before a game because he sprints a lot and he takes a lot of runs, and then you must definitely be careful with him. I don't know what happens, but it's the second time that he was coming back injured from the international break. So I know that he also has some injuries when he was with us, but we try to handle it, especially when we have more games in a week, to really be careful about not overloading him. And I don't know. I don't have the stats what they definitely did there and what they trained there, but hopefully it's not too bad. In the moment, it looks that it is not too bad because he came off after 80 minutes and he had no problems that was coming after the game. But it's not perfect for me.
But you won't be speaking to the Scotland manager about it as well?
I think our medical department that did it, and they know now more.
Just on an international theme, we talked a lot about Prowsey before, since you've been here, and take you back to that Huddersfield game where you left him out of the 18, and now he's your captain and your main player. And the big part of that was him getting nasty, as you said back then, adding that to his game. So I just wondered what you thought of him talking about embracing the dark arts against Iceland with the penalty spot incident.
Yeah, what I have seen is that he didn't damage the spot. He was standing on it and tried to influence maybe the guy who made the penalty. I think this is nothing cheating. I think cheating is no. So I think he made a fantastic progress, and as I know him, he always wants to win. He also wants to win games, and for this, if he is stepping on the penalty spot and that didn't damage it or something like that, then I can handle this absolutely. And I think it was another reason why he missed the penalty.
Just finally, it's a sort of sign of, from a positive point of view, it's a sign of him being wise to how the professional game can be. He's a lot more savvy with certain incidents, and that's kind of what he was talking about afterwards. And he was crediting you for helping him sort of discover that way of being. Yeah,
I think we are very respectful and very, very fair team. We are always hunting, and we are trying to be aggressive against the ball, but always within the law of the rules. And this is what I demand from him. And for a leader on the pitch, you want to have a guy in your group or on your side that is definitely taking the lead and not scared about anything. And I think he made this step in his development in the last year. And this was the reason why he became the captain in my team, because he's always a role model for behavior, for passion and fighting for everything. And if you want to go in such a fight, then you want to have somebody like him in your team.
Thanks, Ralph.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. We'll go to Tom Crockett at the Echo.
Hi, Ralph.
Hello.
Hello. Just ask you about something off the pitch this summer. Obviously, new contracts for. Too far away.
You knew it. Must look who it is, eh? Yeah. Okay. Let's go.
Yeah, it's off the pitch. Obviously, new deals for the likes of Will Smallgo and Jake Vokins. I mean, how important was it to tie those guys down, and how big a role do you think those two in particular could have this season?
I think this is our way. As we always say, as a Southampton Football Club, we must develop our young players. We must give them a chance. And meanwhile, I think after a few years where it was not definitely so clear that this is the philosophy of Southampton Football Club, now we are back on this way. And it is also well known now, especially by the young players. They know that they have a chance to play here. And that's maybe the reason why they really like to come to us, because you get here a quick platform for showing yourself in the Premier League. And this is definitely what they want to do.
And obviously another young player is obviously a bit different, but Salas, who's come over, still a young player. I mean, how important was it to convince someone like him that this is a project that you can be a part of? There's a lot of clubs, I think, looking at him.
Yeah, I mean, we have our very clear, strict limits in any transfer we take. We don't go in this million rallies we see all around. we have to have a player that really likes to come for our money we can spend to us. And if you find such a player, then I'm sure he will enjoy it, and we will develop very quick when he's with us. And for him, I think he has a huge potential. Physically, he's really a fantastic guy, and he needs a little bit of time now to get the first time to play. But I think he will be not a short-term project. It will be more a long-term project, and therefore I think he was a fantastic transfer.
And just finally, on the long-term project thing, I mean, obviously you've changed from the 23s to a B team now. I mean, how important is that a long-term thinking approach to have that within the club running right through? Must be so vital to the first team success in the long term.
Yeah, you can absolutely. Also long-term decision what we took with working with our playbook, bringing the staff from the first team to develop the staff in the academy, and this made a very good start, as I think. You could immediately see an identity in the youth teams now, and this is the way you want to go. And it was a big project over the summer, and it seems that, yeah, it's going in the right direction. Matt Crockett does a fantastic job there. Greg Fleming and Kevin Davis, they are very responsible for this development. The youth staff is happy about getting infos from us and getting support from us. We are now a big family, if you want. Everybody's caring of each other, and I think this is what should make us special.
Perfect. Thank you, Ralph. Best of luck for the weekend.
Thanks, Tom. We'll go to another Tom. Tom Leach at Hampshire Live.
Next new one.
Next new one.
Okay. It's obvious. Good.
You there, Tom?
You must unmute. Or is it unmute?
Yeah, unmute.
Unmute.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Ah, okay.
Hello, Ralph. Nice to meet you. You'll probably see a lot of me over the next few months. One again on Selhurst, if that's okay. What has impressed you about him so far from what you've seen of him, and when can we expect to see him?
I think he has a good drive. He has really a very ambitious guy, working hard on his fitness in the moment. Had a long break of injury and some issues we must work on, but you can see his physical potential he has is amazing, and also open-minded, wants to learn quick, and yeah, this is especially the kind of player we need to have here. Yeah?
And do you know roughly when we can expect to see him, or is he still quite a long way away from that yet?
I don't know. It can take a few more weeks maybe, but after the next international break, I hope to have him back in the first 11.
And then one more from me then on Angus Gunn, if that's okay. You've mentioned the battle for the spot between the posts and how Alex McCarthy's probably going to lead the way with that. Do you have any kind of aims of what you're going to do with Angus Gunn this season? Will you look to move him on, or does he have a place in the side this season?
As I said, my number one is in the moment Alex. I think he deserved to get this trust, and because he played a fantastic end of the last season with a really good development in every part of his game. And in the end, the other two guys, we'll have a look what happens. We don't need both here, so it can be quite likely that one of them is still leaving us. And let's have a look.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you, and good luck for Saturday.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers.